G'day viewers, in today's video I'm going to be processing flat packs and four-sided legged IC chips. Pretty much anything that's got four legs on it, four legs on four sides. Alright, I've got a few left to do and then I'll show you the ones I've already done. Now I've got these clippers here which are really small. They've got a nice small jaw on them. They get really close to the chip, they're sharp, and they make light work of the legs. The reason why it's important to take the legs off is because they will consume a lot of nitric acid, and nitric acid is expensive. And not only is it expensive, but in the mix you'll see when I get to that stage, because nitric is an oxidizer, it causes the steel to rust. You have a whole pile of brown rust in your solution. So now these are trimmed up nice and small, and that's how you want them. Okay, so yeah, you get all this rust in solution, and well, it's not really a nightmare, it's just annoying because what you have to do is put more nitric in to consume the rust. Rust, you know, being steel but just in a decayed form, so the nitric consumes it and gets rid of it. So you want as less steel as possible so you don't have to deal with as much rust, and so you don't consume as much nitric. Now I could have put these into AP, which is, for those who don't know, hydrochloric acid and peroxide, and that would eat the legs off for me. However, it takes 2, 3, 4 weeks, and I don't like to wait that long. I very rarely use AP because of the fact that it takes so long. This is no problem to me. I just sit here watching TV while I do it. So nice and easy. What I do is I put my finger, I get it in position, and then put my finger there so that they don't fly everywhere, and just do it over a bin. Nice and no mess, nice and easy, nice and quick, doesn't take long, nice and clean, beautiful. And there's a thing here which I don't know if they're a flat pack or an IC chip. You'll see the legs are all curled up underneath, and when you see them on the board there's actually a plastic surround, and these sit in the surround. You've got to pry them out. These are easy because the legs are just rolled over underneath, so all you do is you just roll them back and then chop. Done. Roll them back, chop. Nice and easy. Roll it back, chop. You could do these with larger side cutters, but I find these little ones get really close, and you'll be much happier if you get rid of the legs. Trust me, if you process these with the legs on, you'll see what I mean. It will cost you a fortune in nitric acid if you're doing a big batch, and you'll have a ton of rust to deal with. So much easier just to trim them up. I can't sit still while I'm watching TV. I get fiddly, and that's why scrapping is good for me. I've been through some dark times, and I found scrapping helped because it gives you something to think about instead of the negativity stuff. So to sit here and strip, or to do this, or scrapping or whatever, stripping wire, it's a comfort thing for me. I find it's what's the word for it, remedial, I can't think of the word for it now. So there we are, whole pile of 4-sided legs, some big, some small, any size, doesn't matter what they are. A big pile of them, so I'll weigh these up and we'll see what we've got to play with. So before I can go and burn these, even though I've taken the legs off, there are some that have solder on the back. Not sure why. There's quite a few in here. See one there. There's I don't really want to pick out, go through this whole pile and pick out the ones that have it. It's going to cause no harm if I put all of them into hydrochloric acid. There's another one here. Another one down there. There's heaps of them in there that have got it. Yeah, I'll be sitting here all day picking them out. So I'm going to go and soak all these in hydrochloric acid. I've actually got some nice hot hydrochloric acid from something else I was doing. I'll go and put these in there now. Well, the chips have been soaking in the HCl overnight. So it's time now to drain it. I will keep the HCl for some more chips that I've got for a different job, and give these ones a wash, and then they're ready to go in the fire to be burnt. Alright, so I've got them drying on some paper, and when I get the fire started I'll put those in, roast them, crush them and start treating them. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me too well because it's pouring rain today. It's bucketing down, so I won't do a lot of filming, but I'm about to burn the flat packs and the square ICs. Got to get my fire going, and I'll just do that off camera because you won't hear me, and I'll burn them all and then put them in my dolly pot and crush them, sieve them out, and I'll get up to that stage and hopefully the rain would have stopped. Alright, so I ran out of firewood the other day and the flat packs were in there. Not sure if you can see, but oh, there we go. So they're kind of white, but I would prefer them to be a little more done than that. There's still just a little bit too much black for my liking. You could get away with it like that, but it's not going to hurt to put it in the fire a bit longer. And I've been in and got some firewood. I've got the fire ready to go. So I'm going to put those back on for a bit more. And then those flat packs can come out and get crushed. And then we can start processing them. Well, I'm slowly getting through them. This is all that's left to go. Just a thin layer in the bottom of the dish. The fire was raging a minute ago, but this wood that I bought yesterday, I don't think it's dry properly. I think it's still a bit green. It lights up and then it goes out, and it lights up and goes out. The coals are red down there. But getting there slowly. So just the last bit to go, should be done in about an hour or so, and then we can start crushing. Okay, so all the flat packs are burnt, and now they're going to be crushed. So I'm going to take them over to my dolly pot and crush them up, and then I'll get the fire started again because I've got more things to do. But this is it for the flat packs. So I'm going to crush it up. I've showed you in previous videos how I do that, so there's no point in showing it again. You can check out the other video. This is how I crush it and then sieve it into a bucket, and then I'll do a gravity separation. So I've showed that plenty of times as well. But I think what I'll do, I haven't actually done a video dedicated for the gravity separation, so I might use this material for the video. So instead of showing you on this video, I'll make a separate video using this to do just a separate gravity separation video. and I'll be back when I'm finished doing this and when I'm ready to start treating it for the gold. Okay, so the crushed flat packs have all been thoroughly rinsed to get rid of any tap water, and now I've got some distilled water in there. I'm going to put some nitric acid in and get the reaction started. It's nice and warm now. I've been heating it up. Put a fair bit in to start with. There's no worries about overflow because it's such a tall beaker. That's why I like using these tall form beakers. I'll get a lid for it now and just let it react. Well, it's only been a few minutes and already the reaction started. It's coming along quite nice. Okay, I've been adding nitric acid, adding it, and seems like it's dehydrated. It's just left a big pile of crystals. So I'm going to put some water in there, see if I can soften it up and dissolve, decant whatever liquid I can get out of it, and then I can process it with aqua regia. But yeah, it's all gone hard, so I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to put some water in there now. I had it on heat for quite a while and didn't think I needed to top it up. Usually a bit of water gets rid of the crystals. Won't take too long to dissolve it. Might have to put it on a bit of heat. But the crystals are water soluble. And I'll put some heat on it, see if I can get it to soften. Alright, so the sediment from the flat packs has been filtered, drained, rinsed and returned to the beaker, and the solution that came out of it has been tested for silver, and there was some silver in there. Wasn't a huge reaction, but there is a little bit of silver sediment, silver chloride. So the rest of it will be treated, but I'm not going to add hydrochloric acid to that. I'm going to cement it out on copper. And now it's time to add aqua regia to the sediment and dissolve the gold. So I'm going to put some hydrochloric acid in there, and a tiny bit of nitric acid as I need it. Keep adding it slowly and slowly until there's no more reaction and I'm sure I've got all the gold. Alright, so it's been 4 days that this has been on heat, and I even left it on low heat all night, and I've been putting nitric in every day. It really has me beat why some channels say wait an hour. There's no chance that this will be ready in an hour. And you can see there's plenty of reaction in there. I put some more nitric in about half an hour ago, and it's still got a long way to go. So all I can do is just keep doing it slowly. I don't want to go dumping a whole pile of nitric in there and then have to denox it. It's just a waste. I'll just keep doing this and I'll come back when it's finished. Okay, finally there's no reaction when I put new nitric in there. So now I can find out how much gold we're going to get from these flat packs. So I'm just setting up a filter, and there shouldn't be a whole pile of excess nitric because I do incremental additions. I only add smaller bits as I need it, small amounts. So the only excess nitric there will be was the last like milliliter or something that I put in there to find out that there was no more reaction. So I'll just put the tiniest bit of sulfuric acid in there, which should then turn to sulfuric acid and then get rid of any lead that might be in there. But I'm not expecting any to be in there because I soaked them in hot HCl first to get rid of any solder, but you never know. So I'll get that filtering and we'll see what we get. I'm expecting a fair bit because it took quite a while for the reaction to stop. I kept adding and adding and adding and adding, and finally the reaction stopped. So I'll be back when it's filtered. Alright, so I've got all the ash and sediment in the filter. There's only the tiniest little bit of liquid. It's all like paste. So I've just got it gravity feeding that last little bit. Lucky to be probably 2 or 3 mils, that's all. And I put the rest of it into here, and it's filtering through now. There's only a little bit left to go. Once that finishes filtering, I'll rinse out the filter and get all the gold juice out of the filter. And once it starts coming through clear, I'll take the filter off, and I'm going to use up some of this vitamin C to drop the gold with, because when I do my refining I want to be using SMB, and the best way to get purity is to use different precipitants each time, and plus that's open anyway and I've got to use it up. So I'll come back once that's filtered and ready to put the vitamin C in. I'll put some vitamin C powder in there to drop the gold. I thought I had the camera running, but I didn't. My bad. And I've only got a tiny bit left. It might be enough for another job. Let's see. I've got to find out first if this has done the job, so I'll give it some time to settle. And I'll do a Stannis test and make sure that I've got it all. Alright, so I've done a Stannis test. There's no more gold in solution, and there's very fine gold that's floating on the surface. You can see it around the rim, and I just trying to find a good angle to show you. What I'm going to do, instead of waiting for it to settle, it's going to take forever, and then because there's so much of it floating on the surface, I'm just going to pour it all into this filter. This is the filter that I was pouring the gold solution through. Catch all the gold in the filter and then just melt it in the filter. It'll be so much quicker and easier. Alright, so there was a bit of a mishap last night. I brought this in to continue filtering it because it gets cold at night now, we're in winter. And I knew that I wouldn't be motivated to go outside in the cold and keep doing it, so I brought it inside, and my girlfriend knocked this over, and it was full of gold powder. There was heaps in there, and it all spilt on the floor. But as quickly as she possibly could, she grabbed a paper towel and started mopping it up. And we've got wooden floors, so it's highly likely there's going to be some gold down in the cracks in the wood. But as you can see, there's a lot of black on this paper, and she did a really good job of mopping it up straight away. So there's 2 ways I can process this now. I could burn it to ash, or I can just put it in aqua regia as it is, and that's what I'm going to do today. I want this video finished. It's been going long enough. If I was to burn it to ash, I'd use less chemicals, but it would take a lot longer. So I'm going to put all the filter there in with this into aqua regia, dissolve it until there's no dark left in the solution. Then I'll know that it's all dissolved. Squeeze out the paper, remove as much air as I can, and then the paper can go in my paper storage. So you can see the solution's nearly finished. It's dark here, but then when you look here, I don't know how well this is going to show up. It's clear, so it's about as good as I'm going to get, and I want to have this finished this afternoon. So once I've dissolved it all, drop the powder again, hopefully it will settle a lot faster the second time round, and then I'll be able to melt it today. So I like to show muck-ups when they happen. A lot of people don't, they just edit things out, but you know, mistakes do happen. So just letting you guys know, if you have this what you can do about it. Alright, so all the gold has been dissolved. It's very cloudy because there's a lot of paper pulp in there, as you saw all that paper. Some rubbish on top that was picked up off the floor. So now I'm filtering it. And once it all comes through, be able to drop the gold again. I've got ice cubes in there made from distilled water to cool it down. So any silver that might be in there would drop out. I've done a status check, there's definitely gold in there, and I put a little bit of sulfamic acid in there because I only had like a milliliter of excess nitric, because of the way I add nitric slowly bit by bit. The last bit that I put in there didn't react, so that little bit that's converted to sulfuric acid will be good in case there's any lead in there. So now I'm just waiting for this to filter. It's going to take a while with all the paper pulp, but it won't take half as long as if I had burnt the paper to ash and then had to treat the ash. And I've got some SMB dissolving in water. It's all clumped up, so I've got it on just a mild heat, just a very low heat. Let's see if that'll help. And hopefully that'll be dissolved by the time this is all filtered. I finally got the solution filtered, and I put SMB in last night, and it settled quite nicely. So now I'm going to pour this off into my waste, gold wash waste vessel. And we're bound to have lost some gold in the cracks of the floorboards, but I'm hoping we still get a decent yield. It's annoying, but accidents happen. And I'm going to wash this out with some hot water. And melt it up. See what we got. I won't show you the wash procedure, it's just going to rinse it out a few times. I'll melt it and come back. Alrighty, so finally I've melted the gold, and I'm horrified to realise I've lost at least 3/4 of the gold, because I was expecting somewhere around 4 grams, and what I got, 0.8 of a gram. So well over 3/4 of the gold's down in between the floorboards. Anyway, that's life. Happens to us all, and you know, I could have edited it out or not even worried about putting the video up, but you guys should know by now I keep my videos real, and sometimes this happens. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.